Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Options Mentor. First off, I want to thank everyone for the overwhelming response I got to my video I put up last week, which was just the recording from a recent long diagonal follow-up seminar that I did. If you haven't checked it out, check that out. People really seem to like it. It's a good basis to start learning about long diagonals, both single and double. And now on to business. This week, of course, we had the election, which caused a tremendous move in both the VIX and the SPX. I made some great money with the ES back ratio. I talked about back ratios last week, and also put verticals. Those did really well in the VIX. So it was a good week as far as that goes. That's all the trading that I did. So this coming week, we have the VIX a lot lower, and I really do think that we have a great chance to start maybe using calendars and long diagonals again. But with this video I'm doing here now, I have a lot of people ask me, a lot of people use the Charles Schwab ThinkorSwim platform and analysis page. I've been using the analysis page ThinkorSwim through different brokerages since 2005. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use a simulated platform, which is the same, except it's not my real platform. It's paper trading, so to speak. But I'm going to show you how I use that platform, how to navigate around the analysis page, and which is where I live with my trading, how to place orders, take off orders, create alerts, all those type of things. So for those of you who use that platform, I hope you enjoy this. In the future, folks, of course, we'll go right back next week to talking about trades for the upcoming week. You guys have been around long enough to know I'd probably be looking at calendars or double diagonals like I've done in previous weeks. If you want to go back and look at the double diagonals that are there even recently, calendars, you probably have to go a little further back in my YouTube videos, but you can certainly find out how to put those on, and that'll all be there. You can use that type of knowledge if you care to place those trades in this coming week. And for today, I'll be going over this analysis page. I hope there's a lot of you out there who use it and get a lot out of this particular video. So here we go. Let me share my screen. And when I do here, you're going to see that I have the ThinkorSwim platform, Charles Schwab, and it is up here in a simulated trading, of course. And this is the page that you come into. If you don't have any trades on, this will be blank, really. There'll be a few words here, but if you don't have trades on, there won't be much here, but that's where you'll start. Over here, you have account info. It tells you all about what you have, option buying power, different your net liquidity, which is how much money you would have if you could get out of everything you own at the mid price. That's really what that's telling you there. Now, whenever you use your real platform, a lot of times you wouldn't want people to see this. You can turn this off and make it private. There's a button up here. You can slide that over and you won't be able to see these things anymore. So folks, if you happen to be sharing your screen, won't be able to see your netlick and all that private information. Also, over here, you can see this. It tells you where you're at on the year, how much money you've made on the year, what available dollars you have. Like I said, this is a simulated platform. And I don't use it very much, once in a while just to teach folks. So it's all there for you. You can see I already have a trade on. I just placed this for an example a little bit ago. It's a calendar. By the way, something like this I think might be good this coming week, unless something, but the VIX goes really high. But right around 15 and under, I think a calendar or the double long diagonal is a good choice. But anyway, when you do that, you just drop this down. See the little arrows? These are very important to know, because you'll see these and you click on these little arrows. It does lower it down, and then you can see what you paid for something, where it's trading, how long you've been in it, how much profit you have. You can see all that here, profit and loss open, how much money you made today. Even if it has a BP effect, how much that is, or margin. You can also close trades from here. You can just, what you have to do is you highlight the trades you want to close. And oh, and by the way, let's say you had 3 or 4 of them here, and maybe they were all jumbled up. You just highlight the whole thing, and then when you right click like I'm doing here, you'll get a chance to create closing orders. It'll give you choices. Of course, it lets you sell the long, buy the short, or sell it as a calendar, and it auto populates the mid price. So if I do this, and I say create the order, now it takes me over to the trade screen. Here, let me make this a little wider. And then you'll see, hey, here's the current mid price. Natural is what they'd currently pay. If you just put this in at the market, they'd pay you $360. But you should really use the mid price, try to negotiate a little, and it should be around $4 that you could sell this for. So if that's agreeable to you, maybe $4, you lock the price here. Then you go to confirm and send, which will then bring up another box right before it actually sends it. It'll bring up a box, tells you how much of a credit you'll get, that type of thing. And then you hit send. And when you hit send, now it's going to be filled. That's the idea. So how would you know how it's doing with that? Well, you go back over here to our monitor page, which is where we started, activity and positions, and you can see your working orders. Oh, there it went. So it did fill already. So when something fills, it's going to put it here in filled orders. You can see I bought this today and then sold this today. It's all right there. If you ever cancel an order, it's there. So everything you did today is there. Now, tomorrow, these will be gone. This only counts the filled orders for that day. Now, if you ever want to say, oh, I've done this trade 3 or 4 weeks ago, I don't even remember what I paid for it, you can go right here, just go to monitor again where we're at, account statement. And under account statement, make sure you have the right account on, because you can have different accounts, of course, up here. You can put the symbol here in the box, in this case, SPX. Now to the left of it here, as you're looking at it, is how many days back do you want to go to look? So if you don't know, hey, you think it was 7 days back, go back that way. If you think it was more, you can go back to 30. And if you say, I don't want to go back to 30, I think it was 10 days ago, you can put in 10. Now, when you do this, once you have the date you went on, click anywhere out here. Don't hit reset. That's kind of intuitive what you think would work, but it doesn't. It restarts everything you're doing. So just click outside the box. It'll go away. Then we want trade history, not order history. Order history just shows everything, even when you canceled something. It's just confusing and useless in a way. If we just do trade history, hit that little arrow. Remember the little arrow? It's very important. Click that, make it go down. Now we can see the date you put something on and the date you took something off, and the prices, not only the prices for the spread, but also the individual prices. What did you sell the individual calls for, and would you buy them back for, that type of thing? It's all right here. So that's the basics of that. But most of my day, and we'll be back over here in a bit, my trading life is spent right here on the Analyze tab. Analyze. And with that, you have Add Simulated Trades, which is how I start my trades. I do not use this Trade tab to start trades because it'll add an extra step to what you're doing. You can do it, but once you model it, if you wanted to, say, analyze it before you send it in, you'd have to right-click and tell it to analyze the page, analyze the trade. So why do that? Just always hang out and analyze. Click Add Simulated Trades, and then you go to whatever expiration you want. You see how there's all these different expirations? This is how many days out it is. This is the date it actually expires. Now, once a month, we have the AM expiration and PM. Simply put, these options expire at the open on that Friday. These expire at the close. Now, I always use the weeklies. The reason I do that is sometimes if you do a calendar or other things, and some of them are weeklies and some are this AM, it'll make your graph look a little wonky. So I don't use the AM at all. There's really no advantage to using the AM in my mind. Just use the Friday, the weekly, the second of the two. You see how there's 2 of them. That's only the 3rd Friday of the month. Otherwise, other Fridays will just be that single one. But you can go out here pretty far. See how far out you can go, leaps or whatever you want to do, all the way out there, all these different expirations. And once you settle on an expiration, let's say I want to do something for next Friday, the 15th, there's that arrow again. Hit the arrow. Oh, by the way, the symbol for what you're looking in, of course, you put up here in this box. You hit this arrow and down it comes. Now I want to talk about something. I'm going to come back to SPX, but I want to talk about price slices. So let's put in a stock here, and I think they'll all be there. Yes. Now I eliminate price slices as 2 of the 3 of them. If we look down here, price slices, You don't see them? Well, you probably don't have this arrow. Click see price slices. You've got to have this arrow pointing down. Click on it. Now you have all the price slices. Now you can model this to be different things. The only thing I care about is that we are looking at where I currently am in my trade, which is the middle slice. And I don't even use these others. So what I do is I just right click on them and delete slice, and then delete slice. And I just keep that middle one because that tells me where I'm actually at in the trade I have on the screen. So if you look here, it's bouncing around with, hey, where's it trading? It's going to move with it. And you have to keep this price unlocked. If you lock the price, it'll always be at 43.53 until you unlock it, which can lead to confusion whenever you go to risk profile and look at a trade. And this is very important. Many times people get up here and they're moving around, looking at their trade. I'll show you one here in a moment. And if you hit the left mouse button while you're up here, which some people just do accidentally, it locks the price. You might not even notice. It locked the price, and then you're going to be, and many times I've had mentoring students in my right, Mark, I don't know what's going on. It says I should be, I should be up here. I was a few minutes ago. Now I'm not. Well, you locked the price. Maybe the market moved and you're not seeing the real price. It will change everything down here and just keep it right here. So you always want this unlocked right here. Hit the little lock right there. Now, another thing on this page, if you ever want to be wider with your graph, I'll tell you what, I'll show you that in a moment when I have one on. One other key mistake people make is that they don't have this date on today's date, whatever today is. So if you want to look at your trades accurately, price slice has to be unlocked, and then you have to have the correct date. Now, one thing that's kind of irritating about this is that whenever it's the next day, let's say you leave your platform open all night, this will still be on yesterday, and that'll really mess you up. So always make sure you're on today's date. Once in a while, you might want to look at the future dates. I'll show you about that. Make sure you go back to today's date. Now, this date up here just has to do with standard deviations. I don't even use it, so I won't really review that one. But this is the important date, which is today's date. It shows you where you're at in a trade currently, and this is where your trade will be down here. So I'm going to go back over to SPX, which is, you folks know who follow me, that's where I am most of the time. So let's go out here and let's place a trade. So I'm going to go out to the 15th, like I told you guys. And whenever I do that, I want to use the 15th, the second one. And when you have this open, it might even show you just 4 trades. It might say, hey, here's 4, here's 6, here's 14. Well, the fact of the matter is you can change this number to show you as many strikes as you want. 4 is usually a little confining. So what I do, you don't want to do all, then you see every SPX strike drives you crazy, unless you want to look at all of them. I don't do that. What I'll do is maybe put this here and put in a number, maybe like 50 or whatever works for you, and it'll show you 50 different strikes. This side of the, you can see here's the different strike prices. 58.90, 58.95, 5900 here in the center. On the left-hand side, as you're looking at it, are all the calls. On the right-hand side, as you're looking at it, are all the puts. So calls, puts, and how many days out, of course, we are to expiration. One other thing about each expiration, look out here. It says, in parentheses, plus or minus $72, plus or minus 78. If you want to know for a particular expiration what the market maker expected move is, then go to that expiration, the 15th. We can see here that the market maker expected move is plus or minus 83 bucks between now and next Friday, November 18th. It's very important information. Sometimes you can use that. So there it is. Now let's say I want to put on, an at the money calendar. I look over here, and by the way, you can create your own watch list over here, which you can see mine here. And what I do is I look at the VIX, SPX, or whatever I'm going to put on. I'll look and say, okay, the SPX, I want to do a calendar at the money. It's at 60.11. All right, I'll go to the 60.10 or 60.20 or whatever you want to do, somewhere around it usually for a calendar. what I do then is I go to the call side or put side, whatever you want to put on. I'll use calls here. Right click on, oh, and this is set to single. Almost forgot this. See this spread? You can put all these different things in here, butterfly counter. I find it very confusing. So I just set it to single because you can easily change to whatever spread you want. Watch this. So it says single. I can see all these different strikes. What I'll do is right click on the strike I want to, say, put a calendar or fly on, right click, and then you can do buy, but I want to hit analyze buy because then it will take it right into my analyze screen. So not buy, analyze buy. Another menu drops down over here and it gives you all the different spreads that you could do. Now, very important, if you want to do double diagonals or double counters, you have to go to double diagonal, follow yet another drop down menu and hit double diagonal if that's what you want to do, or double calendar. It's kind of irritating, but there it is. So if I want to do a calendar, I click on calendar. Now, when I do that, it brought it up here. And I want to get this out of the way here. I want to see it in my analyze page. It kind of got in the way here. So what you want to do, see all this thing right above order entry tools? This is very vexing. It'll drive you crazy. You want to get this out of your way. So click on that. Oh, for some reason, it didn't show it right in my analyze page like it should have. So, all right, we'll fix that. So this will be a good troubleshooter. So there, I did it. I went to analyze by, and it went and put it right down here at the bottom of my screen. You see that here? And what I can do then is I can change dates around. Hey, maybe this is auto populates. You got to remember when you tell it to do a calendar or a diagonal something that's in two different expirations, it auto populates the very next expiration. So that's not always right. But what if I wanted to be, say, 5 days wide? So I sold the 15th. You click on that 18th and you change it to 20. And when you do that, of course, you have the price it's currently trading at. Now, this is the mid price. As long as you have this price, once again, see this lock? It has to be unlocked, or you won't be able to see the accurate price. If you lock this, price could change. You won't even know it because it's locked on the old one. All right, so unlock it, see where it's at. And then whenever you decide, hey, 1085 sounds good to me, I want to buy that, then lock it there. If it doesn't lock right where you want, you can move it around to wherever you want. See how I'm going up and down a nickel at a time? Now I decided, hey, I'll pay 1085. Heck, I'll pay 1090 mid. So I moved it to 1090. Right click on this green trade right here. And then you put confirm and send. And when I hit this, it's going to get it ready to send. It'll give me a new box. See the new box that pops up? Now this new box tells you one last time what you're doing. It's like a speed bump. It isn't sent yet. This is your chance to look. And maybe you want to change the price or say, nah, I don't want to do this at all and delete it. Or maybe you want to edit it, whatever you want to do. So it shows all the numbers here, what it'll cost you, even your fees, what those will be, how much buying power it'll take, how much buying power you'll have left. So let's suppose you do that and everything looks good to you. Then you just hit send and it'll go to be traded. But you may say, hey, wait a minute, I want to make sure I don't want to put this on just for today. I want it good till cancel or vice versa. So then you bring this up, you go to edit down here in this corner. Now what I can do is change everything. It's a limit order. You always want to use limit orders in option spread trading, period. There aren't any exceptions. And then over here, if you want to change the orders, it's always limit. So there's how you change it. And this is day, meaning I'm going to put the order in today. It'll expire at the end of the day. But what if it's, say, a trade order that you want to buy it, have the order on for days? Maybe it's a closing order for profit. Then you hit GTC, good till cancel. So then you do that. Otherwise, the auto populate will be day. Next is best. And I use best. Some people quibble over, oh, I'm going to use CBOE. You can pick whatever exchange. I would use best if I were you, but whatever you want to do. So once all that's lined up, then we hit confirm and send. By the way, the mid price is here, shows it to you again. And the natural, if you put this into the market, you'd be paying $11.30. But if mid price, you might be able to get it closer to $11 or $10.95. That is why we want to use mid prices. This is a good illustration. Confirm, and I like everything here, so I'm going to go ahead and send it. Now, when I send it, it goes over here. I'm going back to the monitor page, and then I'm going to look at open orders. I have the trade history here, order history. Oh, this is because it's still on account statement. Go to activity and position. See, that's a good thing. Good one for you here. You saw how I was going, what is this doing to me? Activity and position. Now we can see, hey, here's what I said I would pay for it, but they want $11 now, and it's bouncing around. If you see it bouncing around, what I do is watch it a little bit and just pick a price near there. You'll probably have to pick it a little bit on the higher end of the bounce. Like I might have to do $11 here, or you can just let it work here, whatever you want to do. But let's suppose I'm willing to pay 11 bucks and it's not filling here at 1090. So I right click on this trade and I hit cancel replace. You don't want to hit cancel unless you don't want to do the order at all. But if you hit cancel replace, it takes the trade over here so you can change your pricing around to what you want. Now, sometimes depending on how wide you have this set up over here where your other half of your screen is, you may have to hit this button so you can see the full pricing. That's fine. So I said, okay, I'll pay 11. Let's tick it up to 11. Now, all the while I'm doing this, it's still out there to be sold at or bought at 1090 where I had the order. So it could get filled while you're doing this. Who knows? But if you're willing to pay more, you can put 11 in here, then hit confirm and send again. And now I want to put this back the way I had it where I can see all my trade watch list. I'll go back to monitor. I'm trying to buy it for 11. It says 1095. It's not filling. Now, this is a paper trading platform. It tries to be realistic. Sometimes this could happen to you. Sometimes, though, in the paper platform, you can get zany fills. So just keep that in mind. There's a possibility they won't even fill me at 11. I might have to put 1120 in here in the paper trading platform to get it to work. So it's not filling here. So I'm going to go ahead and raise it up to 1110. Now, I'd probably go to 1105 in reality, but I'm just showing you this so we can get a live trade on. I'm going to move this out of the way again by hitting this. I see 11. I'll just go up to 1110. I bet it fills. Confirm and send. We'll get rid of this part of the screen. And then we'll go over here to the monitor page. See what I mean? This is kind of frustrating in the paper trading platform. Sometimes that happens. I don't know if it's, earlier I did this when I had the one on I showed you. I did it just 3 days wide and it filled immediately. Maybe it'll change if I do that. So let's just go back here. If you want to change your duration, cancel replace. And instead of doing 5 days wide, I'm going to do 3. I'm just working to get a fill here. And by the way, if you did 3, the actual mid price, look at that, changes drastically. So what I'm going to do is, it's a mid price is 4. I'm going to go ahead and give it 420, see if we can kind of get a fill here. Confirm and send. Over here we go. And it's kind of fun. See, you're getting to do this a lot. It still isn't filling, is it? I'll try one more time. I'm going to put in a crazy price. Let's go ahead and give them 450. Confirm and send. This is just to try to get a fill with this thing. And they just flat won't fill me, will they? This is interesting. I don't know if there's a glitch. Of course, there'd be a glitch while I'm recording an instructional video, but what's handy about it is you're getting to see me go through a lot of different things here to get this to work. Let me try something else. Cancel replace. The mid price is 405. I'm going to go up to 480. Now, I wouldn't do that in reality, of course. I'm just trying to get a fill. Well, still won't fill me here. So while it's not filling, it's working. And then at the end of the day, if you have it on day, it'll go away. You can see here, here's our other previous filled orders. I'm going to try one more time raising it up here. Otherwise, we'll go on to something while it's trying to fill. All right, so I'm going to give them $5, which is well above even the natural price. And I'm going to let that work. Okay. I'll try one more thing. Let's try, maybe they don't like it that far off of the real price. So I'll go down here. You unlock this, it'll go back to mid. I'm going to go a little above the mid. Confirm and send, and then if it doesn't fill here now, I'll go over and show you something else. All right, so it's not filling. So let's go over here while it's trying to fill, and let's show how I even created a trade again in the first place and how you can watch what it's doing there. So if you look here, you see how it says show all? Well, show all, hide positions, hide simulations. So if you just want to look at your live positions, then just put hide, you'd put hide simulations. All you'll see is your live positions. And by the way, that'll be the live positions that are actually checked over here. If you don't want to see a particular position, uncheck all of the strikes that go with it. Then you won't see it. Otherwise, you check them, you will see it. And then if you want to see just your simulations, maybe trades you're evaluating, then you hit hide positions. If you hit show all, it shows everything, what you're thinking about and what you have on. So I'm going to go to add another one here. So let's go to analyze, add simulated trades. I'll try to put on a different trade just for fun. Maybe I'll do a vertical. So I'm going to go out here. I'm going to analyze buy, vertical. Now it's populated all the way down here. Now you select your strikes. Okay, I want to buy the 660.20, sell the 60.25. It says right now that's about 250. I go, okay, 250, 260 is good for me. I don't care. And then once again, I'm just trying to get fills. I lock the price, right click. Once again, confirm and send. How's that going to affect me? And send, and off it goes to be filled. So now I have an order in for a vertical. Oh, and it filled the vertical. All right. We're still waiting on the calendar. Not sure what the holdup is. So when it fills, you can see down here, if I have SPX, it says, hey, you got a position on. So what you would do is click on it, and you can see the position. Here's what you bought. Here's what you sold, the expiration, where it's trading, which is the mark, and what you paid for it, how much money you're up or down for the day, and in both of them together. Or you can go here. This is for the whole spread. All right. So if I want to look at it in the Analyze page, I go back to Analyze. I go to Risk Profile. Now, when you go to Risk Profile, you can see how this actually looks. And you can see here all my prices are so jumbled. How can I fix that? Well, if you want these prices to be wider for any reason, you put this down here, your mouse, right here, or by these prices in this dark box here below the actual graph. Hold down the left button and drag to your right. If you keep dragging, it keeps getting wider. You go, wait a minute, Mark, it went off the screen. What do I do now? Now, put your mouse up in this part of the graph. Hold down the left mouse button and drag it back. That's a very good thing to know, particularly with spread trades. Sometimes you want to make it wider or narrower, and that can happen. So there you have it. You can have this the way you like it. Look at the price slices. It's unlocked. It says, hey, there's the delta of my position. So all your Greeks are right here too. Here's the delta. Here's the gamma. Here's the theta. How much am I making or am I losing today just on time decay? Vega, how much am I making or losing per point of volatility, which goes for or against me? How much profit and loss do I have open? It says I'm open. I have $40 profit. And the day thing, well, I guess it's a curiosity if you want to know where you're at for today, but it's really not that important. I just look at the profit and loss open. Hey, that's the money we really have made. That's where it's really at. So I just usually look at that. And you can go down in here and you'll see the date is correct. You see the thing, interest rates. I don't ever mess with that. So if you mess with it accidentally, just unlock it. It'll go right back to where it's supposed to be. That can be very frustrating if you have that happen. So don't do that. I use the Bergström-Steinsland way of calculating the IV and stuff. So you can use whatever, Black-Scholes binomial. I don't know. This has always worked for me. I probably said their name wrong, whatever. And then you see my actual trade that I have on live here because I have show all. And you go, okay, I want to evaluate a new trade. I'm going to hide positions. Let's go over here. And maybe we'll look at a diagonal for 2 weeks out. So I'll go to the 22nd. And maybe I want to buy a call diagonal. Maybe I'll buy the 6,000, sell the 605. How would I do that? Go over to the call side, right click on it, buy, diagonal. Auto populates it down here. By the way, you can change the number it auto populates. It could be 1, it could be 10, whatever it is you want it to be. I just keep it at 1 and dial it up or down depending on what I'm doing. So here, if I want to buy the 6,000, just change what you're buying, which is the long to 25th. You see how it did this auto-populated the very next expiration, 3 days wide, fine and diagonal. But if I want to buy the 6,000, I got to click on this and change it to 6,000. Now, remember, this is kind of funny. Up is down in prices, and down, if you drag the prices down, it goes up. It's kind of another fun backwards thing here. So I hit 6,000. I want to buy that, and I want to sell the 605. So I got to change this. So I go down to go up. Like I said, 605. Here's where that's trading. And if I'm willing to pay a little more, I'll go to 630. It's locked in. What do I do here again? Right click, confirm and send. And send. And go over to monitor and wait for a fill. This just does not want to fill spreads today, does it? Other than the first one I put on. Let's see if the diagonal gives it up a little. Remember, cancel replace. It brings me here. I can change what I'm doing. Let's go ahead and give them 650. Confirm and send. And it'll go back. Now it is willing to give 655. The mark's at 630. Still being problematic. Sometimes you'll see that your other order is still there. You see it took a little bit, but it did cancel it. So we'll give it a few minutes here. And what if I say, hey, I'm giving up on this calendar, and right click here and just hit cancel. Now, once your spread order is filled, it will show up here in black, just like that vertical did. Remember what, in fact, it still does. Watch this. If I go to show all, you see once the position's actually on, like our vertical, it's up here in it's all black. And if I wanted to sell it, I could just actually highlight all legs of that spread, right click, create closing order, remember that, and then sell one vertical. And it gives me the price. I click on that and it goes through, confirm and send the whole thing again. Now, if I just want to, once again, just look at simulated trades or things I'm thinking about, you go to hide positions, and let's create another trade idea. Let's go to add simulated trades. Here we are, and we'll use that same expiration. Oh, let's see. Let's just do some kind of a butterfly. And let's see what I want to do. Let's just go out of the money with one. However you want to do it. So this will be, whatever price you click on will be the center of your butterfly. Let's do it with puts. So I'll do the we'll do the 6,000 centered put butterfly. Analyze buy, go down to butterfly. Here it is down here. It's puts. You go, wait a minute, I want to do calls. You can change it to calls. But if you want to do puts, that's cool. And then you say, okay, I'm selling the 6,000. Now you go, all right, I'm going to select my wing width. I'm going to go 50 up. So I'm with the upper one at 60.50 because my center is at 6,000. And I want to go 50 down, which of course would be 59.50. Here's the price. Let's go look at it first. Okay, it was a little off center. Let's drag it over. Remember, hold your left mouse button down up in here. You can drag the price around. Well, you say, Mark, what was that again? What if I want to make it more narrow or wide? Wider. Hold your left mouse button down here right below these prices. See where my mouse is? And go sweep to your right while you're holding it. Then let that go. Go up here and hold down, drag it back. And if you want to make things more narrow, here you go. And hold down with the left mouse and drag to your left. Okay? And when you got it done, remember, hold your left mouse button down, moves things up. You look at this and you go, all right, you know what? I like that. I'm going to go ahead and buy it. Okay. Right click, remember, confirm and send. Your last chance to look at it. Send. Hey, it filled it. Good deal. So for some reason, they like butterflies better than they do anything else. Oh, that's good that it did that. Sometimes, let's say you put on more than one contract butterfly. It might fill as the whole thing. Like if you put on a 2-lot, it might fill it as 2 1s. Or maybe you put on a 10-lot butterfly and it filled it as, 5 2s or whatever it may have done. That's fine. In fact, sometimes you might say put on a 10-lot butterfly. It might fill 2 of them immediately, and then it just sits there. That's fine. You can cancel it if you don't want to sit there. You can actually cancel replace and change what you're willing to pay for it or sell it at, whatever you're doing. And then it has here what you paid. So I paid $8 for this. Now, if I want to look at it after I filled it, remember it's showing me just one here, but I did two. So right click on it, analyze trade, and if that's not the true amount you did, go ahead and change it. Right to 2. And now I'm looking at, now this is a simulated trade. So if you don't want to look at it as simulated, I'll talk about why you might want to go to show all. And when I hit show all, this looks wonky. What happened? Well, it's because you hit show all and you got your vertical still here. So your vertical is actually showing, and you wanted a 242. The vertical's here, so uncheck the vertical. Now we're just seeing the butterfly. However, it looks really weird. Why is that, Mark? Sometimes the unchecked things, particularly not the unchecked, but the things you got filled earlier in the day, maybe you don't have them on anymore, but they're still checked here, will make the graph look funny. So anything you don't really have on, maybe you filled it, but it leaves it there. Maybe you didn't even fill it. Maybe you were trying to fill it. It'll be here as a 0. So let's just unclick every 0 we see. This is great that it did this to us, because that's important, because that'll drive you crazy. So I'm unchecking all the zeros in the trade. And when I do that, boom, when they're all gone, guess what? Here's the butterfly, and it may skip to strike because this one was in between. That's fine. And now you're looking at your butterfly, your actual position, this purple line or lavender, whatever you call it. That's where I am today. If you have it on today's date, really remember. So remember, right now it's saying I'm down $189. If you put your mouse up here, you don't have to hold down anything, just your mouse. If I sweep down to my left, it shows where I'd be. What if today we ran down to 5,900? Well, you'd be up $15. What if we ran up to 6,100? Well, you'd be down $900. It tells you that. And then if you said, oh, I want to, what about if with time decay, where would I be by maybe next Friday? Well, you tick this date forward to next Friday, and you can get a sense of that. Oh, look, if it was next Friday and I was at 59.56, there I'd be up $440. But while the mouse is here, you can see that. If you want to know where it would be on expiration, you can see this. It approximates it, or you can go over here, see this? The purple's today's date, and this is expiration. Now, it's only showing you where the mouse is. That's why it looks funny. So if I hold this in the center, while I'm holding it in the center, look over here. So I got it in the center, and if you look over to the left of those two boxes, the purple one's saying I'm up $264 if I was here on the 15th. If it was expiration the 23rd, I'd be up $7,994. Now I'm going to tick it back to today's date. We'll look at it again. If I was here today, I'm down $171. If I was here on expiration, I'd be up $8,000. So it just tells you where you are and where you'd be. And now you have that there. And if you go, Mark, I don't want to look at my fly. I want to look at my vertical. Okay, unclick it. Uncheck the whole fly. Go to the vertical. And there it is. Now I see my vertical. And if you want to sell the vertical, let's go ahead and do that. We'll highlight this whole thing. Right click. Here's my choices. Well, I could sell the whole vertical. I could buy or sell one of the components. So let's go ahead and sell the vertical. It'll create a closing order, sell the vertical. It says it for $225. This is a credit, so if you want it a little easier, just make it cheaper. You say, okay, I'll sell it for $210. The mid's $215. Confirm and send. Now it's gone to go fill. I don't know how they'll fill about. Yep. Okay, there it is. It's gone now. And you see it's here in my filled orders. Right? So I sold it for $230. And the diagonal I'm trying to buy, there it is. They just don't want to fill those two dated trades today, do they, in the thinkorswim platform? But that's okay. We can make it work this way. You get the idea. I've shown you what it looks like when they are filled, and when they are filled, how you can sell them. But let's say you got this, I want to look at it again. Okay, right click and analyze trade. Looks wonky. Remember, why is it wonky? Well, because you have things checked up here that are zeros. If you don't want that, maybe you just want to look at the simulated trade, just hide positions, and boom, there we go. Now, this is where that widening and shortening of your screen up here really becomes important, because a lot of times I'll be teaching, and I have mine usually pretty wide. And I'll put this on and I'll go, wow, that looks great. I'm going to do that trade. I'm going to do Mark's trade. And then they model it and they don't have theirs that way. And then I'll get the email that says, Mark, look at my screen with a screenshot. It doesn't look near as good as yours. Well, the reason is you have these too narrow. Now, the reality doesn't change. This trade, even narrowed here, has the same reality as mine, but it looks different. So if you want to have a better look, I like to do this because I like to dial in things a little better. And I'm going to drag it wider again. Remember, holding the left mouse button down here, sweeping to my right. Then I want to bring it back so I can see it. Hold the left mouse button down and sweep to your left, and there it is. Now you have the better looking graph. Now, if anytime you don't want to look at this, you just hit this X and the trade will be gone. Like that. Or let's say, hey, I don't want to look at it, or I want to look at one of my simulated trades, not the other. You're not seeing anything right now, and the reason is you've hid the positions, but you have your butterfly trade unchecked, or the one you were looking at. You have to check it. Now I'm seeing it. If you ever want to change contracts on what you want to buy or sell, go up or down, you can do that. And there it is again. So let's do something here. Let's try to put on a butterfly. First off, let's see if they'll let me sell the one I have on without too much trouble. So let's go to show all. Now it's going to show, here's my butterfly. See it here? So I want to highlight the whole thing, even if price, see, this is in between it. Doesn't matter. Now I have it all highlighted, just like you highlight anything on a computer with or at least with the Microsoft system. Right click, create closing order. What's it trading at? 815. Okay, I'll just click that, sell the butterflies. And I'm willing to take a little less. So I'm going to go down here to 790s, confirm and send. Off it went to be filled. Its bid price is 805. I'm willing to do 790. It hasn't filled it yet. Hopefully it will here soon. And then this trade will go away. All right, I'll come back to it if it does. Let's go back to the Analyze page. I want to evaluate an unbalanced fly because there's something different I want to show you there. So here, I still have this other one here. I'll go ahead. Okay, it filled it. Okay, so now that trade's gone. You can see I have no trades at all on up here. Remember to uncheck things you've gotten rid of. Otherwise, when we model things, it'll look silly again, like I showed you. All right, so you can have show all on if you don't have anything else on. If you do, then hit the hide positions. All right, so I want to do an unbalanced fly. So I want you to see something here. So if I do an unbalanced put butterfly, unbalanced means one side will be closer to the middle than the other. So if I have 6,000 as my center, I go up to 60.50, okay, 50 points up, but I go 60 points down. So instead of 59.50, I go to 59.40. Now, I'll make it a one lot. When you do that, all right, I'm 50 up, 60 down. If I click on it, here's the trade. Look over here, BP effect. What are they saying? Well, this BP effect's not actually accurate if you have a normal account. I'm not sure where that number came from, to be honest. But anyway, there will be margin if you do an unbalanced put fly, because for some reason, I don't know why, brokerages consider an unbalanced put fly as a debit vertical and a credit vertical. So when they do that, there's margin. So what will happen is you'll have a debit. Here it's $5.55, but I have margin. Now, margin usually on this trade would be like 980 bucks. You'd add that to that. So your real cost to trade is BP effect plus the debit. So if your BP effect was 1,000 here and you paid 560, well, then that means you paid $1,560, right? 550 or 560 plus the margin. But anyway, if you do it as calls, watch what happens. You say, wow, that's outrageously expensive. You know that the unbalanced put fly was only $550. Look at this, $15. Are they crazy? Well, that's because in reality, there'd be no BP effect here in a regular Reg T account. And a margin Reg T account, this would be blank. There is no BP effect at all on a unbalanced call butterfly. It's all into debit, so it'd be a $15 debit. If you do it as puts, there'll be a margin over here plus the debit, but the debit will be a lot smaller. One's really not cheaper than the other. They're pretty actually the same. So don't get thrown by that. I've had people do that. I model a put fly, and then they go to do it, and they'll have calls, and they'll go, wait a minute. Mark paid $5.50. I'm not paying $15.50. Well, that's why. I'm kind of going through all the questions I get when people are a little off on what happened. And whenever somebody says, Mark, you say you're up $100, and I don't show that, here's a few things you want to check. You want to check and make sure that your price lock is unlocked. You want to make sure that we're on today's date. And you want to make sure that you have the right trades checked down here that you actually have on. Let's see if they'll fill this unbalanced one any easier. Let's right click, confirm and send. Your last chance, send it. I don't remember what the mid price was or what I had it at. So the mid price is $15.40. I'll pay $15.50. Let's go ahead and we'll raise it up to $60. I bet I can get filled. Cancel, replace. I'll go up here. Remember that kind of blocked out. I can't see it. Hit this little thing to make this part of your screen wider. We'll tick it up to 1560 or 60 is fine. Oh, it filled it. See what I was talking about? While I'm doing this, it actually filled it. So you can just delete this. Let's just go back over here and see what we got. Remember monitor? We still got that diagonal working. They don't want to fill. And then filled orders. Look, they filled me for $15.40. Now, remember, a lot of times you might say, hey, I'll pay $15.50. They might fill it for $15.40. That can happen, particularly at the open. Like if, let's say you put in an order to sell this fly at the open for $15.50, they might fill it, but you're selling it, they might fill it for more. They're never going to take your limit price and make you pay more than you're willing to, or sell it for less than you're willing to. But if I had this order on at the open, say, hey, I'll give you $15.50, go, you know what? You can get it for $15.40, which they did. So here it is. It's filled now. So now I go back to Analyze page, and it's on hide positions. Why don't I see it? Well, it's because it's on hide positions. Let's go ahead and show all, or at least hide simulations. Show all. There it is. And the only thing checked is my butterfly. See all these boxes? The only thing checked is my butterfly. So that actually shows correctly here. You want this to look wider. Remember, hold your mouse here. Hold down the left mouse. Then you can hold down the left mouse up here, drag it back. So that's how you put on trades, take off trades. And, let's see. I'm going to do some others. How you move the graph around. Price slices, I went over that. Dates, I went over that. I went over how to access your account statement so you can see what you paid for something. Go back to monitor, hit account statement, have the right symbol in the box, go however many days back, at least that you put a trade on. You can put on more if you want. And you don't want order history, you want trade history. It shows everything you did in that time period and what you paid for it. All right. So let me show you something else here. What if you said, Mark, I can't watch this all day. I might have to adjust it or take it off if we get to 60-40. It's almost out of my graph. Or maybe even if I get to 59-60, I need to do something. Is there a way I can get an alert? Yes, you can set up how you're notified by your broker with your alerts. It can be your cell phone, email, or both, tone on your screen, whatever. So if you want to create alert, I go to add simulated trades, and I have the right, obviously, product, SPX, add simulated trades, and then I go to last. Not net change, not bid, not ask, last. See that? Right click, create alert. And now I always want to do last here also. So I want to be notified when the last price it traded at, not its bid, not its ask, because it might not get that. But last tells you what it actually traded at. You're going to want to know that. So last is at or above. And in that case, we wanted to know if it was at 60-50, right? So we'll go ahead and change this. Go ahead and black out of this like you do anything on a computer. Put in 6050, 60-50, if that's where you want to know if it ever gets to there or above it. I hit enter there. It's locked now. And then you hit create alert. It tells you how you're going to get notified. Now on my live account, it says sell, sound, both. I think even email. But it's all, no, I think it's just sound and sell. But anyway, you can change it around. When you hit create, now it's out there, and it'll be out there until you get rid of it. I've had one time I put something, I wasn't even trading a product anymore, and I had a real high, if it ever gets there. I had something go off, it was 6 months ago, but it was still, the alert's still there. So if you ever say, Mark, I forgot where I put my alert, go to monitor, and then we're going to go to activity positions. See that little bell right next to your product? If you click on the bell, it tells you what the thing is that you're the underlying, what your trigger is, last at or above. You might have to make this a little wider here so you can see that it was at or above. If you put your mouse here, 60, 50. Now you can change that anytime you want. You could right click on this, replace it, cancel it. You don't want it anymore, cancel it, that's fine. All right. So let's go back to analyze and risk profile. We'll go, okay, I got that on for 60, 50, but I want to know if it goes down also. Okay, 59.60. I want to know if it's there. So we'll go to add simulated trades, last under SPX. Right click, create alert. Last here again, not at or above. We want to know if it's, what was that again? It was 60. Yeah, I want to know if it's 59.60 or less. So at or below 59.60 is my number. Back out what it had, 5960, hit enter, and then create alert. Now it's there. If it ever hits that 59.60 or 60.50, I'm going to get alert. Go to your alerts, shows them both. If we're at or below, put your mouse there, it shows you 59.60, it's going to alert you. At or above 60.50, it's going to alert you. And okay, another one is, so what if I want to put in a conditional sell order for my butterfly over here on the analyze page? All right, well, I got to get it, show it here under show all. Remember, we want to highlight all legs of that trade. So go there, go up here. Now create closing order, pick the one you want. You want to sell this butterfly. And you say, hey, Mark, I paid 15, whatever we paid, 40 for that. I want to sell it when it's $16, and you should make that good till cancel. It might come up 3 days from now. So here it is. Let's click this so we can see everything. And I want to sell this. Oh, I'll just sell it at $16.50. Tick it to where you want to sell it. It's locked there. Instead of day, remember we wanted to do good till cancel, confirm and send. And now let's go back to our normal screen, click this little arrow again, monitor, and there it is. It's sitting there. If it ever gets to 1650 mid and they'll fill you, it'll just go off. If it doesn't get there, they won't be paying it, right? So they can only pay you what you asked for or more. They can't pay you less. And that'll sit there till you cancel it. So that's how you set a closing order. You say, oh, you know what, I've been in this. I'm a little afraid of this report coming out tomorrow. I want to change that. Okay, remember, cancel, replace. Dial this down to whatever you want. Let's do this so we can see it. Okay, Mark, I'm willing to sell this for $15.80. Okay. Confirm and send. It's still going to be, if you don't change good till cancel, it'll still be on there. Send. Monitor, get this arrow here so we see everything right. And then we'll go to monitor. And now you've changed it. So that's how you put it in order. You can modify it to close. They never did fill this diagonal, something wonky with the platform, but that's fine. So now I've gone over how to put on orders in the analyze screen, how to evaluate them in the analyze screen, how to send them off to be filled, how to close them, how to close for price. Oh my goodness. Oh, they filled for a minute there. I thought they filled our diagonal. Oh, look, we already got filled on our butterfly. So we can say, hey, I sold it for $15.80, bought it for $15.40. That'd be nice if it was in the same day. So it's all there. And these all go away. Remember, tomorrow, none of these filled orders will be here on the activity and position monitor page. If you want to see them for any date in the future, once you want to go back, you got to go to account statement, put the symbol here, make sure you've gone back enough days. You can change this to whatever amount you want. Trade history, bada boom. Okay. So we're still looking at that diagonal. The charts over here, I look at charts kind of for support and resistance. I don't do anything magical with them, but that is how you can look at it. Oh, by the way, on charts, it does show you your alerts also. See that? Now, if that's in your way and you don't like it, if you hit X, it's gone. That does cancel the alert. Okay? But it is there also. But if you hit X, if you take it off, it's gone. You'll have to recreate it. And the same thing here. It's showing you, I get a limit order on another trade. It doesn't tell you what it is. Well, if you put your mouse on it, it does tell you what it is and where your limit is. Once again, if you click this, it's going to go away, right? So you'd have to re-put the order in, but that's all there. However you want to set up your charts, you can do here. You go up here, click daily, weekly. Once you click, say weekly. When you do weekly, you can hit weekly again. You can change the time frame, 3 years, 1 year. If you go, hey, Mark, I don't want to look at 3 years. I want to look at my time frame of 1 year. All right, 10 years, whatever you want to do. Change it to 1 year, however you want to do it. Daily, weekly, 1 year, hit OK, and now there it is. Now here's the weekly for 1 year. I usually use daily. I'll go back to that. So you can do that. That's how you do that. That's really most of what I do with charts. If you want to do drawings and everything, it's all there, folks. Studies, however you want to do all the different things. I don't use it, so I wouldn't be of much help to you there. I just showed you the basics and where it's at. Okay. Now, to be honest, that is really how I use ThinkorSwim and have used it now for 19 years, this ThinkorSwim platform, through being with ThinkorSwim to TD Ameritrade to now Schwab. Thankfully, it's kept that continuity all the way across. So that's how I use it. That's how I put on trades, take off trades, set closing orders, set good till cancel orders for profit, how I evaluate trades, how I use the price slices and dates. Everything's there. So I hope this helped you a lot with your ability. I'm sure many of you, if you're newer to the platform, will have to go back and watch this again. Perfectly fine. It's recorded. You can watch it a million times. That's great. But that's why I wanted to put this up on YouTube, so a lot of people would have it as a reference. This won't go away. You won't be 3 months from now. You go, hey, how did Mark do that? You can just go back to my YouTube videos and find it. And there it will be. And of course, folks, you can always email me if you have questions. The Options Mentor SPX at gmail.com. The Options Mentor SPX at gmail.com. It's all there in this video description. And also what's in there is how to spend your time with me every trading day over at aromir.com. Click on those different links, or you can go to aromir.com/Mark, AEROMIR.com/Mark, and find out about my products. You can buy courses. You can be with me every day as I do sessions before the market opens. A couple days a week, I do a help desk and live trades. You can go there for that. All there tells you how you can join to do that. And as always, I appreciate you being here on my YouTube. Please tell your friends. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. And I'll be back with you next week for some new trades, what we might do. Like I told you guys, I really think this coming week, I'll be doing calendars and or diagonals, either long single diagonals or double diagonals. Just go back a few weeks. You can see how to do those. It'll all be there. I'm not going to show it in this video because I'm trying to keep it clean. So this is just how to use this platform. But next week, I'll be back to showing you those. And if you want to know how to do them for next week now, go back and look in the past. I show you how to set things up. Okay? Or, hey, you know what? Go over to aromir.com and join up with Mark, and you'll be seeing how I'm actually doing it next week live. Okay? All right, folks. Thanks again for being here with me on YouTube. Have a great day. Have a great weekend and a great trading week. That's it for today. Bye-bye.